My name is Zak Noyle. I'm a professional surf photographer. I was introduced to photography through my dad. He's a commercial photographer, but I never took an interest to photography until I started loving the ocean so much and seeing the ocean and seeing all the waves and things, and that's when I became so in love with photography and capturing wave images. What I really like to capture with my photography is someone like my mom or someone that won't ever go in the ocean like I do is able to see. It's like an insider's view of the waves and the water and the surfing. Something that makes a viewer want to be there and feel like they are there. I see myself as really changing that and having my images tell that story better and better as I progress and get better with my photography. I shoot with SPL water housings. They're wonderful housing. I've slammed it on the reef. It's dented. It hasn't cracked like the other fiberglass ones or other things. But all this at aircraft aluminum, like hardened steel, you're gonna be good, you know, hitting that. Some of my favorite spots to shoot, of course, is off the wall. First off, Pipeline is very close second. It's just such a beautiful wave. I can sit there. It's my favorite time is the evening when the sun is going down, it's all golden. And that's my favorite place to be. Point Panic is another great spot. It's on the South Shore, but it's such a beautiful wave in the evening. And Waimea Bay. I got asked to shoot the Eddy from the water by Quicksilver. And it was such an amazing thing. I had been taken out of school when I was young to go see the Eddy when it's on. It's like everything stops on this island for everyone to go over there, and there's just thousands of people camping out. And so to be asked to shoot the event was just insane. I couldn't even sleep. I was so scared the days before. My mom was like, "Are you really swimming out there?" I'm like, "I think so," you know? So it was the coolest thing I've ever done. Some shots from the Eddy that really stick out to me in my mind is a shot of Reef McIntosh and Kelly Slater dropping in. Kelly burned Reef on that wave, and Reef was just like, "Oh, I could have got barreled on that thing," but it just has them, and it's the most perfect wave, big wave. There's another one of Greg Long that actually won that event, and it ended up being the poster for the following year for the Eddy. And so to have that, like, I've always had the posters from the Eddy, and everyone always has, like, you go in someone's house and that's a poster people put up on their wall. So to have my image used and on the shirts and all the banners was insane. Another one of my favorite images is from Tahiti, and it has a surfer and he's with the rainbow going from the land to the barrel, like perfectly, and he's standing in the barrel. And it doesn't look real, but it was just one of those special afternoons, and I was actually shooting fisheye, and I saw this rainbow appear, and I moved back out so that I could get that whole land and the whole rainbow in one image. So my image of all the trash in Indonesia that I took, it was actually a trip that we went on, but all of a sudden there's these waves of trash coming through. And I feel with the swell and the place that we were at was kind of like a bay. It was getting pulled right into there with that swell and the incoming tide. And it just got to a point where it was just so overwhelming. And there was soccer balls and every kind of trash debris. And we were seeing tree trunks, logs, bigger than cars coming through. So a lot of the waves were missed because we couldn't catch them because it was so dangerous with the logs. For Red Bull Loom, I submitted an image. It was a sequence shot, and it was Gabriel Medina, and it was actually right out here, and just a small day kind of like this, and it was just a beautiful sunset. So I'm trying to do these airs, and I wanted to put the viewer to be like they were actually there. You have the water coming up on the beach where you can see, instead of just the typical tight action sports surf shot where it's just that raw energy and power. I like to get that whole the clouds and the water and everything like that. I love backlit. I love when it's glowing green and the guy's a silhouette. That's one of my favorite times to shoot, but nowadays it's just changing. I can put my ISO very high and be shooting almost in the dark, whereas you'd be trying to do a speed blur or go in at that time already. And so it's just constantly changing, which is so exciting for technology to progress like that and to see where and what we can do with it. When I'm out in the water, it's not just, oh, the surfer's coming down, you know, very easy to line up. With the fisheye, which I like to shoot with a lot, I'm trying to get as close as possible, getting a different angle, and you're watching the surfers coming down the face of the wave, how the wave is breaking, where you are, what the current's doing. So there's so many different elements that you're calculating and putting together of where you need to be exactly to get that best possible shot. I don't consciously do it, you know, just after years and years of doing this, it's all kind of come together for me, luckily. And I can see that, I see the surfer, and then it's okay, the wave's gonna close out, so I can still get inside of the barrel, or it's this isn't gonna be a good one, just dive under. Going under the wave and you can get sucked over or caught inside. So I think it's so much fun to get caught or be out there in the waves, and that's where I wanna be, you know. I'd rather be there than be on land shooting. And it's just right there in the action to me. It's non-stop and a great workout.
And then all of a sudden it's like bear attack, bear attack. Literally articles popping up where it says 30 grizzly bears surrounded scientists in a cabin for a week. We arrived in